Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to talk about the Bionic jack. So I have the Knife Center exclusive Bionic jack in this beautiful crystallized titanium. You have polished accents with a two-tone on the clip. Absolutely gorgeous hand satin finish on the S90V blade. And I do have skiff bearings in here. I will talk about that during the video as well. And yeah. So first, I want to apologize if you can hear the white noise in the background. I do have a new EDC, and that is this little guy right here. His name is Oscar. And Oscar is hanging out with me because I'm trying to let his mom take a little nap, and we'll see how this goes because he's 5 days old, but currently he's letting me film this. So I do apologize if you hear that in the background, but I have a good reason, don't worry, and maybe my mic will do a good job cutting it out. So anyway, I want to show you the packaging. It's really cool. So you have this awesome sticker, "We can rebuild him." Jack Wolf knives. You have the POG. You got the little Terminator eye on there. Bionic jack on this side. So of course that all goes in this beautiful tin that has this artwork. I believe this artwork, yep, it's from Sean Tiffany. I will say, out of the two designers they used for the tins, I do prefer Sean Tiffany's artwork, but that could just be because he was the first and I'm used to that, and I am easily swayed. I don't know. You get this beautiful cloth, of course. Probably should have snuck these stickers in first. Look at that. It worked. And you do get this filler tab as well. That is also in polished titanium. So you can take the clip off if you want to, and you could rock it with a slip. It does not come with a slip. It comes in this box. Very nice. Down here you have your information. So this is a Knife Center exclusive. I believe they did tell me the listing was up, so we could look at it. This one's only $10 more than the, oops, wrong one, knifecenter.com. Bionic jack. Let's see. So yeah, it's $360, guys. $10 more than the standard versions. You can pick these up, obviously, at Knife Center. I'll put a link down below. I will also link some other dealers that I have affiliate links with, and I will put the dealer list as well if you decide you want to get these somewhere else. But I do want to shout out Knife Center because they were kind enough to send me this version to check out. So yeah, and it is the best version if you ask me. So here's this version. Then you have a polished tie with a blue. It looks like a frost fat carbon. You have a sort of more traditional looking version. What are they calling that? It's all black washed. S90V with a black DLC stonewash clip point. Liquid gold kieranite scales. That's pretty damn dope right there. You have a titanium one that's all blast and tumbled. And you have one with watermelon sugar and the standard dark blast black. It looks like DLC. Is it PVD or DLC? Not sure on the hardware. And then you have a belt satin, looks like. I was wondering, I thought I didn't see one with a belt satin, but there it is. So that would probably be the other one I would go for. But this one is the one to get, in my opinion, just because of the crystallized titanium. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, I did talk about it in another video earlier this week or last week. But basically, it is a very cool process to create crystallized titanium. They use heat and pressure, And then they also etch it. It's very interesting, and it gets this blurple color all the time. It's always blue, always purple. So it's not like one or the other. It's very, very cool. So I did put skiffs in here. The ones you want are 1/8 pivot. And then you want the 3/64 ball right here. 1/8 pivot, 3/64 ball, 10 ball count. I did count the stock bearings. They have 7 balls in there. So you're gonna get 3 extra balls per bearing, 6 total for the knife. That is actually pretty good considering you have 20 total, so you're getting 6. You have 14 normally. So you're basically adding another third or 30% of the balls in there, which is great. Now, I do want to talk about the disassembly. I'm not going to add it to the end here because it was long and I had some issues during it. Basically, I could not get the inlay off. It almost felt glued on there. Once I got the screws out, I tried popping this off with like a pick or getting something under there. Because you can see the tiniest of gaps. Let me zoom in here. You can see it. You can see the tiniest of gaps under here and here. You can see the material kind of thins out, it seems like, and then it gets thicker up here, right? But there's a little bit of spacing, and I tried to get up under there and pry it up. That did not work. Obviously, I probably marked it up a little bit. Not worried about it. But yeah, I couldn't get it off. Now, I did talk to Ben about it because I was like, hey, man, you should know about this. So if people hit you up or if you want to, let people know, it might be a little more difficult to take apart. I think it's just this version because of the titanium. It can swell maybe, where carbon fiber is not going to change with temperature. Kieranite either. They're, yeah, they're just different. They're fibrous materials, I guess. Where this, if it gets hot or cold, it could expand, retract. It might just, be a tighter fit. Ben did say if you put a towel down and you kind of smack the bolster, you should be able to smack it loose where it'll just come straight off. You really can't push it one way or the other because if you look at the inlay, the way that it hits the bolsters, it kind of like locks it into place on either side. So if you push this way, you're kind of pushing against there. And if you push this way, you're kind of pushing against here. So it's kind of hard. You need to get it to go out. And if it got on, it should be able to get off, is his theory. So if you put a towel down and kind of just smack the bolster, it should come off. What happened to me was I assumed I was going to get this off. So I took the pivot out and I actually pushed the pivot through because I was thinking I would just take the blade off. And that way I could work with the handle without damaging the blade. But I got ahead of myself, obviously. There's a internal stop pin, and I couldn't get the blade out. So now I just had no pivot, no bearings. He's good. Had no pivot, no bearings. And yeah, so I ended up trying to kind of do it like an integral. And I kind of like dropped the bearing in and then pushed it with a little pick and tried to get it to drop into the pockets, and that did work. So it just took a little bit of time and effort, and I couldn't flip the washers or anything. So I don't know if I'd recommend swapping to skiffs on this. I don't know if you really need it. The action was phenomenal as is. Check out my other video on it. But it is really good with the skiffs. It's dead centered. The detent feels just as good. I have no play at all. It swings down and it glides. I mean, really could not ask for better action on this. So, it's up to you. I just wanted to say, disassembler beware. It could be a little bit of a struggle. And that's on you. You know what I mean? So just be careful. I'll put a link to the skiffs down below. It's skiffworkshop.com. You can use my code LeftyEDC and you can get 10% off of your order. And I will tell you, I needed the finger bit because the pivot is a spinning type and it did require me putting another driver over here. My finger wasn't enough pressure. So this is a great tool to have. You can get this from Skiff as well. It's called the finger bit and it's amazing. Now the pivot is going to be a T10. The inlay screws are going to be T8, and I believe the screws underneath are going to be T6. So you're going to need 3 different Torx drivers to get this thing apart if you do it the traditional way. If you do it my way, well, you really just need the T10, but I don't recommend it. It was a pain. I had to sit there and do surgery. I used one pick to kind of hold one bearing in and then another pick to slide the other one. And it was a bit of a process. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. Fantastic knife. Look how thin this stock is with that full height hollow ground blade. It does have sort of a rhino's horn type clip point, not my favorite, but you know, I can kind of forgive it because everything else on it is literally amazing. The flipper tab is the best one Jack Wolf has done yet. So normally on their flipper knives, it's usually good for a front flip, and that's about it. I've struggled to roll back on a like after hours jack. I've struggled to do reach arounds on them. It's just a little bit harder. Where on this one, they seem to have gotten it perfect where I can get my finger up here and roll it back, no problem. I can get my finger around here and reach around it, no problem. I'll try to do it right-handed. I haven't really practiced that. There you go. Roll back is easy. Reach around is easy. And that's without even holding onto the clip. You could see the drop action is really good. We have no up and down. We have no side to side. And it swings down freely. And a couple of shakes and we're home. The reverse flick is amazing. And it does have a good thumb flick. As long as you have a little bit of room to give it a wrist flick, it works really well. It's really a great knife, guys. Ergonomically, it's super comfortable in the hand. You do have this one little point right here, but they did take an angle off on it to try to knock it down. I have not noticed it in actual carry and use. The only time I notice it is when I try to notice it, if that makes sense. If I'm trying to get it to bother me, I can. But normally it doesn't. Now, I'm not right-handed, so I can't really speak for how you would hold the knife. But in my just standard right-hand grip like this, I don't even feel it. If I kind of awkwardly get it to where I want it to hurt me, I can feel the point. But normally it doesn't. So you might want to check with some right-handed reviewers on that to be positive, but I haven't had any issues with it. And let's be real, nobody's doing crazy hard work with these knives. At least I don't think so. So, I don't think it's the biggest deal. It has an amazing reverse flick. They really nailed the combination of the fuller and the front flipper on this one for me. It just feels a lot more refined than previous versions. The only thing that I would change on this, I'm trying to word this properly. So this is the best locking knife they've done, but I have to admit I would prefer the blade on the after hours. I hope that makes sense. So it's the best, in my opinion, of the locking knives they've done. But I would, I guess, take the blade shape from the after hours as the best one. So that's one little, I guess, nitpick talking about it, in terms of compared to the other ones. But other than that, it absolutely crushes, I think, all the other ones they've done. And the other ones have been great, don't get me wrong. The After Hours is one of my favorite knives that has come out in the last year or so. So this is really, really good, guys. That's about all I have for you guys. I'm trying to keep it short because of the kiddo here, and yeah. So I do apologize. My videos are going to be a little bit different for a little bit while we get settled in, but you know, I still want to bring them to you as best I can. And yeah, so dropping Friday, October 18th, 2 p.m. Eastern. And this is the crystallized tie version that will be at Knife Center. Shout out to Seth over at Knife Center. He reached out to me and we talked about the model, and he put together the build on this, which is really cool. And I think it was an absolutely fantastic job putting materials together for this. Something new, fresh, different. And the fact that it's $10 more is really cool. So that's it, guys. I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.